Yes, sir. So we have completed cyclotron yesterday. So the next topic that we are going to discuss now is what will happen when a current carrying conductor is placed in magnetic field. Okay.
Sir, can't see the screen, sir.
I shared it, no? 1 minute.
No,
Please.
sir.
No?
No, sir. It's just showing
No, sir.
Epsilon Academy has started screen sharing. That's all, sir. I can't see the screen.
No check. Is it okay?
No,
Wait,
sir,
let
it's
me-
still the
No,
same,
sir.
sir.
Okay, wait, let me leave and come back again. So any one of you would get the host access. Okay, once I'm back, make me the host. Should try. I think yeah, I got the host access back. Okay. Now are you guys able to see?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the next topic is magnetic force on a current carrying conductor. Okay, till now what we have seen is we have seen what will happen or what will be the magnetic force exerted when a charged particle is moving into a magnetic field. Now we will see what will happen when a current carrying conductor is placed in external magnetic field. Okay, so write it down. Magnetic force on a current carrying conductor. Yes. Suppose there is a magnetic field existing like this. Okay, in which there is a conductor placed. Okay, and this conductor is going to carry a current in this direction. Now, what is the force it is going to experience is the question. If I take the length of this conductor to be L, now we need to answer what is the force it is going to. But before that, we need to understand certain facts that are happening inside a conductor. So inside a conductor, what are actually moving? Those are the charged particles, right? Charged particles are moving. What are the charged particles we are trying to talk about? If you take a conductor like this, we have electrons inside. If the current is in this direction, then the electrons are moving in the leftward direction with the drift velocity Vd. Okay. And if I take the length of the conductor to be L, and if I take the length of the conductor to be L, then tell me what will happen to this electron when it is moving inside a magnetic field with a drift velocity Vd. So if I take one electron, which is moving with a drift velocity Vd, and it is in the presence of a magnetic field, what will happen to this electron, guys? We discussed for the past two classes, we were discussing the same thing. When a charged particle is projected into the magnetic field, what is going to happen?
Sir, it will follow a circular path.
Sorry,
It will follow a circular path.
follow a circular path. Okay. Before that, why is it following the circular path? Because it is experiencing something. What is it? It is experiencing a magnetic force whose value is how much? Q
Zero.
into B vector cross B vector. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So the electron is experiencing a force of this much value. So this is FB vector. So can I say force experienced by one electron is equal to E into BD into B into sine 90 degrees? Or I can say like this. Let's say the conductor, I'll take a generic case. Let me say that the conductor is placed at some random orientation. Why should we take that this is placed exactly perpendicular? Let me say that this is the length, and let's say the current is I here. Okay, so can I say here it is sine theta? Guys, are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? So the electron is like this, it is getting drifted in this direction, VD. Sorry, it will actually be in the downward direction because current is in the upward direction. Okay, E into VD into B into sine theta, this is the force experienced by one electron. So force experienced by N electrons will be how much? You guys tell me. It will be capital N into
N
E,
into E.
VB into sine theta. Okay, this is the force experienced by one electron. Now what I'm going to do is divide and multiply with time. Then what do I get? NE divided by T into VD into T into B sine theta. Okay. So N into E is the total charge according to quantization of charge. T is the time taken. So what is this rate of flow of charge called as? Is it not the current? Into speed multiplied with time is going to give us the length into B multiplied with sine theta. So this is the force experienced by a current carrying conductor when it is placed in external magnetic field. So I into L into B sine theta, which can also be written as FB vector is equal to I into L vector cross B vector. Okay. So please make a note of this point. This is a very, very important formula. We'll be using it at many places. Did you guys make a note?
Yes, sir.
This one. So FB vector is equal to I into L vector cross B vector. Here also you can make a conclusion that force is perpendicular to both L vector and B vector. Right? Because it is a cross product of these two vectors, I can say force vector is perpendicular to both L vector and B vector. Okay, so that is one thing. Next is, how can we find the force experienced in example 4.1. Let's take this example. So there is a straight wire of mass 200 grams and length 1.5 meter, which carries a current of 2 ampere. So you have a straight wire, and this wire has a mass of 200 grams and length of 1.5 meter, which carries a current of 2 ampere. It is suspended in mid-air by uniform horizontal magnetic field B. What is the magnitude of the magnetic field? So understand one thing. The weight of the object acts in the downward direction, right? So the magnetic field should be present in such a way that it is able to balance the weight of this object. I will call this as FB. Correct? So what is FB, guys? So what is the magnetic force? Just now we saw. It is magnetic field times current times length times sine theta, where theta stands for what? Theta is the angle between which two vectors? It is the angle between the direction of current and the magnetic field. Okay. So what is the value of B that is given? That is what we need to find. Right. Let me call this as equation number 1. I hope I'm clear, guys. Right.
Yes, sir.
Gravitational force is mg. This is 2. So this particular material will be able to be in the midair only if FB is equal to mg, which implies B into I into L into sine theta should be equal to m into g. So B is B only. What is the value of I? It is 2. L is 1.5. Sine of how much is the angle? It should be 90 degrees. Yes, because they told it is horizontal. Is equal to mass of the object is 200 into 10 power minus 3. Acceleration due to gravity, you can take it as 10. So one unknown, one equation, you will be able to solve this. Right? So that part I'm leaving it to you. Okay, make a note of this point.
Noted, sir.
Good. Okay. So this is how you apply the formula for force. Okay, I want to do some more problems from the exercise. Then I will teach you the next set of concepts. So let's do some problems from the exercise. There is a circular coil of wire consisting of 100 turns. Each of radius 8 centimeter carries a current of 0.4 ampere. What is the magnitude of the magnetic field at the center of the coil? So how to solve this? A circular coil of wire, 100 turns. So capital N is 100. And each of radius 8 centimeters. So 8 into 10 power minus 2 meter carries a current of how many amperes? 0.4 ampere. What is the magnitude of the magnetic field at the center of the coil? What is the formula, guys? B is equal to mu naught Ni.
Mu naught Ni by 2R.
That's right. Mu naught Ni divided by 2R. And mu naught, you can write it as 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 into N into I. N is how much? N is 100. I is 0.4 divided by 2 into R is 8 into 10 power minus 2. I hope you can solve this. So those many Tesla is the answer.
Sir, should we keep pi as 5 or should we convert it?
So You should convert.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I hope you're done with this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next. So there is a long straight wire which carries a current of 35 amperes. So I is equal to 35 ampere. What is the magnitude of the field at a point 20 centimeter from the wire? So R is equal to 20 centimeter or 20 into 10 power minus 2 meter. Okay. So here the word long in physics means infinite. So indirectly what they're saying is this is a scenario of infinite length conductor. So what is the magnetic field? B is equal to mu naught I divided by 2 pi R. So what is mu naught by 2 pi, guys? Mu naught by 4 pi is 10 power minus 7. So mu naught by 2 pi will be
5, sir. 5.
2 into 10 power
Oh.
minus 7.
Oh.
Mu naught by 4 pi, nothing does. See, mu naught by 4 pi is 10 power minus 7. So if I multiply with 2 on both the sides, then I'll get mu naught by 2 pi is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7. Okay, into I is 35 divided by R is how much? 20 into 10 power minus 2. So this is the value of B. Okay. I hope it is a simple problem, right? Try the next one. So there is a long straight wire in a horizontal plane, carries a current of 50 ampere. So I is equal to 50 ampere in north to south direction. So north to south, east to west. Okay. So long straight wire carries a current 50 ampere in the north to south direction. So this is 50 ampere. Give the magnitude and direction of B at a point 2.5 centimeter east of the wire. So here at a distance of 2.5 meter, what is the magnitude and direction of the magnetic field? Find it out. No? So this is also a long wire. So formula is B is equal to mu naught I divided by 2 pi R. Again, mu naught by 2 pi is 2 into 10 power minus 7. I is how much? 50 divided by R is how much? 2.5. That is 5 by 2. So this will go 10 times. This will cancel 4 times. So 40 into 10 power minus 7 or 4 into 10 power minus 6 Tesla, which is also 4 micro Tesla. Okay, what is going to be the direction, guys?
So it will be upwards.
Perfect. Be out of the plane. Similarly, I want you guys to do the next problem and tell me what is the answer. Horizontal current of 90 ampere. It's to west direction. This is 90 ampere and the east to west direction. What is the magnitude and direction of the magnetic field due to a current 1.5 meter below?
So is it 30 into 10 power minus 7?
30 into 10 power minus 7. What is the formula you applied from? Mu naught I divided by 2 pi r.
2 pi r. Yes, sir.
Okay, 2 into 10 power minus 7 into I is 90 divided by r is how much? It is 1.5. 1.5 can be written as 3 by 2. 30. So 120 into 10 power minus 7 is what I'm getting.
Okay,
Check
sir.
mark.
I cancelled it, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay, that is 12 into 10 power minus 6 Tesla. Correct. But what is the direction? Direction. They asked what is the magnitude
Sir, it
and
will be
direction.
towards the north. Sorry, south, sir.
Very good. Be towards the south pole. So there is the direction of magnetic field and there is the direction of current. I hope everybody is clear with this point.
Yes, sir.
Next, 4.5. What is the magnitude of the magnetic force per unit length on a wire carrying a current of 8 ampere and making an angle of 30 degrees with the direction of uniform magnetic field of 0.15 Tesla? It is based on the concepts we discussed just now. What is the magnitude of the magnetic force per unit length on a wire carrying a current of 8 ampere? So I is equal to 8 ampere, making an angle theta is equal to 30 degrees with the direction of uniform magnetic field 0.15. Perfect. It is F is equal to DIL sine theta, but they ask force per unit length. So F by L will be equal to BI sine theta. B is how much? 0.15. I is 8. Sine theta is half. 4. So 0.15 into 4 is 0.6. So 0.6 Newton per meter is the answer. Okay. So try 4.6 also. Don't worry about the word solenoid, but try to find it out. Solenoid is also a device inside which there will be magnetic field present. Okay. So you have a 3 centimeter wire carrying a current of 10 ampere. It's placed inside a solenoid perpendicular to its axis. So there is a wire of length 3 centimeter carrying a current of 10 ampere is placed inside a solenoid perpendicular to its axis. The magnetic field inside the solenoid is 0.27 Tesla. What is the magnetic force? So F is equal to how much, guys?
BIL sine 90.
Very good. Very good. BIL sine 90. It is 0.27 into I is
10
10
amperes.
into 3 into 10 power minus 2. Okay. So 0.27 into 3 is 0.81 into 10 power minus 1 or 0.081 Newton force. No. Simple problem, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. We can see what is the other problem that we can do. I hope everybody has copied it.
Yes, sir.
This you can't do now, you can't do now, not possible. Okay, let's do the 11th one. So there is a chamber in which there is a uniform magnetic field of 6.5. This G stands for Gauss. Okay, Gauss is the C's unit of magnetic field. 1 Gauss is 10 power minus 4 Tesla. Okay, is maintained. An electron is shot into the field with a speed of 4.8 into 10 power 6 normal to the field. What do we mean by normal to the field? What does normal mean, guys?
Normal means it's a perpendicular to the.
Very good. Normal means
Perpendicular to the
perpendicular.
electric field.
Perpendicular to magnetic field, not electric field.
Oh,
Okay. So there is an electron. Electron means the charge of the electron is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. With the speed of how much value? 4.8 into 10 power 6 meter per second. Explain why the path of the electron is a circle. Answer is very simple. Whenever a particle is projected perpendicular to the magnetic field, it's going to be a circular path. Determine the radius of the circular orbit. R is equal to, formula is mv divided by qb. Correct, Ada? So mass of the electron, we know that is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 into velocity is 4.8 into 10 power 6. Charge of the electron is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 into magnetic field. How much is the magnetic field? 6.5 into 10 power minus 4. So you calculate this value, you're going to get the answer. Okay, let me know once you're done copying. Done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
4.12. In exercise 4.11, obtain the frequency of revolution of the electron in its orbit. Does the answer depend on the speed of the electron? Answer is no. Because yesterday I told you, no, time period is equal to 2 pi m divided by qb. So frequency is qb divided by 2 pi m. Means the frequency and the time period do not depend on the velocity of the electron. Hence, the electron is going to have the same time period irrespective of what speed with which you are going to project it in. Okay, let's calculate. F is equal to qb divided by 2 pi m. That's the answer. You know q, you know b, you know 2 pi, you know m. That's it. Substitute and find the answer. That's the final value. Does the answer depend on the speed? Answer is no.
It will be
So
independent.
it is independent. It is independent of speed. And what we can say is, with whatever speed the particle is projected into the magnetic field, it will take the same amount of time to complete the revolution. Okay. So as of now, these are all the problems that we can do. Now we'll move on to the next concept. Okay. Since you guys, I hope you'll be better with formula now. Now you can understand things better. Write down force between two parallel current carrying conductors. Force between two parallel current carrying conductors. If there is a conductor like this and there is another conductor like this, Let's say the current in this conductor is I1, current in this conductor is I2. Let's say the distance of separation between these two conductors is D. Okay. Now, just now we learned a concept. See, here we need to apply two concepts. Whenever there is a current carrying conductor, what is present around it? The base of this chapter, whenever you have a current carrying conductor, what is present around it?
Magnetic field.
Magnetic
Magnetic
field.
field.
Yes. Similarly, second is, whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in magnetic field, what will happen? That is the last concept we saw. When a current carrying conductor was placed in magnetic field, it experienced
Rotational force.
Rotational
Rotational
force. That's no magnetic force. That's it.
Oh.
Okay. So here we need to understand two things. See, 1 and 2. I'm using force between two parallel current carrying conductors. No, the question is, where does the force come from? So that's what we need to understand first. Suppose you have the first conductor. So due to the first conductor, let's calculate the magnetic. Okay, I want a 4 parallel to long and magnetic. Long means they are of infinite length. Okay. Now what I will do is I'll calculate the magnetic field due to the first conductor at point 2. So what is the magnetic field due to the first conductor at point 2? It is going to be mu naught I1 divided by how much? See, this is a long current carrying conductor. Due to a long current carrying conductor, just now we did problems also. What is the magnetic field at a distance d from it? Due to a long current carrying conductor, what is the magnetic field at a distance d from it? Mu naught I divided by 2 pi d, no? So, are you guys there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, mu naught I1 divided by, can I write it as, wait, my device got stuck. Yeah. Mu naught I1 divided by, can I write it as 2 pi into d? Similarly, so what is going to be the direction of magnetic field due to the first conductor at point 2? What is going to be the direction of magnetic field due to the first conductor at point 2? Is it not minus k cap? Right. Since second conductor is placed in the, since the second conductor is placed in the magnetic field generated by the first conductor, force experienced by the second conductor is equal to current through the second conductor into a small portion. If I take a small length L into L, or I will call it L2 also, nothing wrong, L2 cross P12. Guys, did you understand what I did? So the second conductor is acting as if it is placed in the magnetic field produced due to the first conductor. Okay. So it is
Yes,
going to
sir.
be I2 into L2. L2 is in the direction of J cap because the current is in this direction. Cross B12 is mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi d into minus k cap. So when you take out all the scalar quantities, you will get mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi d into L2 into j cap cross minus k cap. This is F2 as a vector. Okay. So, or I will write it F21, force experienced by the second conductor due to the first conductor. This is equal to mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi d into L2 into what is j cross minus k guys? What is j cross minus k? It is minus I cap. So F21 vector divided by L2 is equal to mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi into d in the direction of minus I cap. This value is called as force per unit length. Force per unit length between two long parallel current carrying conductors. Did you guys make a note of it?
Yes, sir.
Now comes another question. What will be the value of F12 divided by L1? Same scenario. I1, I2, distance between them is D. 1, 2. What is the magnetic field due to the second conductor at the first? Mu naught I2. I'm saying due to I2, what will be the value of magnetic field produced at the first location? Mu naught I2 divided by 2 pi. They complete the statement. 2 pi
D.
Direction.
Sir, is it K cap?
Correct. Okay. It's K cap. So what is the force experienced by the first conductor due to second? It will be I1, current through the first conductor, into length of the portion of the first conductor L1 cross B21 vector. L1 vector is how much? I can write as L1 in terms of j cap cross. What is B21 guys? It is mu naught I2 divided by 2 pi d in the direction of k cap. So here comes an interesting point. F12 vector is equal to I1 into L1 into mu naught I2 divided by 2 pi into d into j cap cross k cap. Right? So it will be mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi d into L1. What is j cap cross I cap? Sorry, k cap, that is I cap. This is F12 vector. So F12 vector divided by, I'll bring this L1 to the left hand side, will be mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi d in the direction of I cap. Did you guys understand what I did? I just rearranged. What will this be called as? What will this be called as, guys? This is also
Force
force.
per unit length.
Perfect. So this is also called as force per unit length only. But here, the thing that we need to observe is the force experienced by the first conductor due to second is to the right. This is F12 divided by L. Okay. The force experienced by the second conductor due to the first is to the left. So the important observation that we are supposed to make from here is when the current in both the conductors is in the same direction, right? Here, am I right? So both are parallel conductors. The current is in the same direction. Then these conductors tend to get attracted. So when the current is flowing the same direction within two conductors, the conductors tend to get attracted. Okay. And the force per unit length that is going to act between them is given by the formula mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi d. So the conclusion I would like to make here is make an important note, guys. Current in the conductors are in same direction. There will be an attractive force. Current in conductors are in opposite direction, then there will be a repulsive force. Means the conductors will tend to repel away from each other. That is the point. Okay. Now we will do a problem which is based on this concept. Try this. Two long means infinite length, and parallel straight wires A and B carry currents of 8 ampere and 5 ampere in the same direction, and they are separated by a distance of 4 centimeter. Estimate the force on a 10 centimeter section of wire A. So how to proceed, guys?
Sir, is it 2 into 10 to the power minus 5 Newton?
2 into 10 power minus 4. Tell me the steps.
Sir, I equal to 8.0 ampere.
Okay, I is 8 ampere, I1, I2 is?
I2 is 5.0 ampere. 5
Okay,
ampere.
okay,
And the distance between the two wires is 0.04 meter.
okay.
And the
So what
length,
is length is 10 into 10 power minus 2 meter.
meter.
So we know the formula for force per unit length. What is the force per unit length formula? Mu naught I1 I2 divided by
Length.
2 pi. This is what you did, right? This is what
Sir,
you did?
into length will come, sir.
No. I calculated force per unit length is this
Oh,
formula. Okay. So what is mu naught by 2 pi? 2 into 10 power minus 7 into I1 is 8, I2 is 5, D is 4 into 10 power minus 2. This is still force per unit length. They didn't ask force per unit length. They asked us to calculate force. So L will go to the other side. So F will be equal to, this will go 2 times, this will go 4 times, 4 into 5 is 20. So 20 into 10 power minus 5 into L is 10 into 10 power minus 2. So what is the answer you told?
2 into 10 to the power minus.
Minus 5. Is this what you got?
Yes, sir.
This is right. So 2 into 10 power minus 5 Newton, 2 into 10 power minus 5 Newton is the right answer. Okay.
Okay, sir.
The last concept for the day is, it's a very simple concept, okay? Nothing to stress out. Listen. Current carrying coils act as a magnetic dipole. So if there is a conductor which is carrying a current I like this, okay? A current carrying conductor, a current carrying coil rather, acts as a magnetic dipole. So you need to understand what a magnetic dipole means. If you have a north pole and south pole, this is what is called as a dipole, right? When the current is flowing in the clockwise direction, okay, let's say the current is flowing in the clockwise direction, then what is the direction of magnetic field at the center? Is it into the plane or out of the plane? Apply right hand thumb rule and tell me what is the answer. When the current carrying coil, when the current in the coil is in the clockwise direction, what is the direction of magnetic field at the center?
Into the plane.
Very good. It is into the plane. You apply right hand thumb rule, no? It is into the plane. Now, let's take a basic magnet as a reference. From your 10th standard knowledge, you will be knowing that the magnetic field due to a dipole is from the magnetic field due to a magnet is from the north to the south pole outside the magnet, and it is from the south to the north pole inside the magnet. This is a known fact, right? So, inside a magnet, which pole has the tendency to receive the magnetic field? Inside a magnet, which pole has the tendency to receive magnetic field? It is north pole. Because north pole is only having a magnetic field inside towards it, right? So when the current is flowing in the clockwise direction, observe this behaves like a south pole. You're able to see it is looking in the structure of S. So when current is flowing in the clockwise direction, it behaves like a south pole. Whereas if the same current is flowing in the anti-clockwise direction, then it behaves like a north pole. So what I'm trying to say from here is, we revisit the topic. Current carrying coils act as a magnetic dipole. So what I'm trying to say is, you take this coil itself. So from the side, when you're looking at the paper, right, if the current is the clockwise direction, let's say you have an option. Let's say your paper is transparent enough. you turn the paper and see, then how will the same clockwise current on the other side appear to us? Guys, are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? Let's say your paper is transparent and you have drawn something on your paper. Let's say you have used a dark sketch and you have drawn something on the paper with the arrow mark like this. So when you see it from the side that you have drawn, it appears as if the current is flowing from left to right. If you turn the paper and see, then how does it appear? It will appear as if the current is right to left. No, same thing. Let's say you have drawn this on a paper with a compass and a sketch pen or a permanent marker. Okay, you have turned the compass in clockwise direction and you have put this arrow mark. If you look at the same paper from the back side of it, then the arrow mark, is it not going to appear in the anti-clockwise direction?
Yes, sir.
Does it make sense? So what I'm trying to say here is, within the same coil, if you see the coil in the direction in which the current is in the clockwise direction, you're actually looking at the south pole of that coil. Because any current carrying coil will act like a magnet. That's what the whole chapter says. Current is there, it is going to have magnetic field, right? So if the same coil is looked from the back side, where the current is going to be in anti-clockwise direction, then you're actually looking at the north pole. And this is a very, very important conclusion for us to understand things better. It will completely give us a different perspective with respect to current carrying coils. Since the same north pole and south pole are present on the same coil, okay, since north pole and south pole are present on the same coil from either of the sides, a current carrying coil will act as a magnetic dipole. Di means two, pole means polarity. Since it has both north pole and south pole, it behaves like a dipole. That is what this concept says. Am I clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is the last topic for the day. So this is the last topic for the day. And this kind of a rule is called as clock rule. CLOCKRULE. This rule is called as clock rule, where you write in the form of S for south pole, in the form of N for north pole. Okay. So based on this concept only, I'm going to continue with the subsequent topics. So before I continue, we have done problems today. We have discussed three subtopics today. So I suggest you all to revise and come before tomorrow's class, so that the other part will be easy for you to understand. Okay. So just go through and come before tomorrow's class. I'll discuss the remaining topics. Maximum 3 more classes will be done with this chapter also. Okay. So that's it from my side, guys. Any other doubt from today's class?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No doubt, sir.
Okay. Then I'll see you all tomorrow. You can log off.
Thank you, sir.
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 Yes, sir.